Welcome to Leavenworth High School Pioneer Tech Time. Today we're going to talk about theater lighting, specifically conventional stage lighting. Now, conventional stage lighting, these are the lights the theater have been using for decades. And so we're going to cover three main types of stage lights today. We're going to cover pars, fresnels, and lekos or ellipsoidals. So the first thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at the par. The par is by far the simplest of the three lights that we're going to talk about today. The par simply is a wash light. It is an area light, meaning you turn it on, it gives you a pool of light, and it doesn't give you a whole lot of options to modify the light. Pars will give you kind of an oblong light. So as you see, the light kind of falls off here and gives us an oval pool of light. The par doesn't have a whole lot of adjustments, but one thing it does is it allows you to spin the bottle, as we call it, and change the direction of that pool of light. So here we have it that's more horizontal. If we spin it the other way, we can get it to be more vertical. So with a par, that's really all you have in the fixture as far as how to modify your light. There are some add-ons that you can put in, barn doors and donuts and some other things to help shape your light. But as far as the light goes, the par is a really simple fixture. What you see is what you get. You have different lens options where you can change the size of this pool. Some lenses will make it wider. Some lenses will focus it into more of a narrow field of view. But that really is a function of the optics. So you would have to take a whole different lens and take out the lens that's in there and put in a different lens. The par is a simple light, and because of that, it is the cheapest light out of the three that we're going to talk about today. It is really your most basic stage light. They start at about $50 new and go up from there. So you're going to find pars all over the theater community because 9 times out of 10, that's what you're going to buy first. And because they're so cheap, you're going to end up having a bunch of traditional pars that are in your lighting rig, because at $50 a pop, you can afford to have 20 or 30 of these laying around, whereas you may not have nearly as many fixtures that are the Fernells or Alicos, because each one of those is more expensive than a par. One of the other things I forgot to mention was that the par is going to give you a soft edge light. Not nearly as soft as you're going to get from a Fernell, but it is definitely not going to be considered a hard focus. The next light we're going to talk about is the Fernell. A Fernell is also another fixture that is relatively simple in its construction. The thing that makes Fernells amazing are the lenses in a Fernell. They're going to give you a great soft edge beam. Here you can see that this beam has a definite hot spot when it's all the way zoomed in. The other thing about a Fernell is that a Fernell is going to give you the opportunity to zoom your pool of light right in the fixture without changing the lens. Here you see I can zoom that out, and this is its widest setting. But again, you see that it has a definite, distinct middle in terms of brightness, and it falls off really nicely towards the edge. That is really useful in theater because theater, a lot of times you want a really soft edge to your light, because as you start to overlap multiple lights, you don't want to have a hard edge, because then you'll have some definite noticeable spots where the light's not covering. If you use a soft edge light, then they blend really nicely once you start adding 6 or 12 of these to give you an entire stage wash. And again, with a Fernell, the fact that you can zoom this beam means that you're gonna save time by not having to swap out lenses, and you can just zoom in the light fixture. So that is also a definite plus with a Fernell. The Alico is the third light that we are going to talk about. It is by far the most expensive out of the three because it gives us a wide set of features built into the light. Just like the Fernell, this Alico is going to allow us to transition, or this particular Alico has a zoom built in like the Fernell. Not all Alicos zoom, but this one does. More often than not, you're gonna find Alicos that have a barrel in it that fixes the size of your light. And if you wanna make the size of the light different, you have to swap out the barrels. Zoom fixtures cost more. They're harder to make, so they cost more. The other thing about Alico that's different than the other two lights is that Alico will actually allow you to transition between a hard focus, this is what we call a hard or a sharp focus, to a soft focus. Whereas with the Par and the Fernell, you only have soft focus. But Alico is going to give you the option to have both. The other thing about Alico that is one of the most useful functions are the shutters. The shutters are going to allow you to shape your light. And so because you have the option of shaping your light, there are things that you can do with the Alico that you can't do with any other fixture. Now, all three of the fixtures that we've talked about today have a gel frame holder, so you can put different colored gels in front of the lights. Gels are simply colored pieces of plastic that when you put it in front of the light, changes the color. This is the way that we've been creating different colors in theater for decades. With the invention of LEDs, we have fixtures now that can create a bunch of different colors inside the fixture. But before we had LEDs and color changing ability, we had gels. And you can put a gel in front of any of the three lights that we talked about to change the color of the light that you see on stage. Well, thank you for hanging out today. This has been a Leavenworth High School Pioneer Tech Time.